Hi everybody. Today I want to talk about an art trade I did with someone I consider a dear friend who goes by ThePinster on DeviantArt. He's an incredibly skilled artist and he's always been very kind and very sweet to me. I've linked his DeviantArt in the description, so if you go check it out, I would very much appreciate it. That being said, I do want to give a quick disclaimer because, spoiler alert, I had a lot of trouble with this drawing. However, my struggles with this drawing have absolutely nothing to do with ThePinster himself, because he's great, and I thank him for putting up with me throughout this whole experience. Side note, this was also my first art trade, like ever, so maybe that explains a lot. Maybe that explains a lot of the difficulties I was having, but we'll get into that. This video was supposed to come out a very long time ago. I think in January, and it is now, late September. I had a lot of trouble with this drawing. Basically, for the first time in a long time, I had art block. Art block can be a tricky thing because it comes in all shapes and sizes, and everybody experiences it whether you want to admit it or not. I know there's been this debate going on in recent years in the art community about whether art block even exists or not, and I'm not gonna participate in that debate because, you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and that's wonderful and great. What I don't think is cool is that it's kind of used as an excuse to invalidate other people's feelings, which is not very nice. All in all, I just think the fact that it's a debate itself is very silly. So, we're not gonna get into that. But what we are gonna get into is art block itself and how I try to overcome it, and maybe this can help you. Something that has helped me immensely is targeting the reason why I have art block in the first place. Are you struggling to formulate ideas? Are you struggling with a certain part of the drawing? Or are you just not in the right mindset to create art right now? I think these are kind of the main reasons why people can get stuck sometimes. If you have no idea what to draw, I would say go out and get inspired, particularly by your favorite things. Your favorite things are your favorite things for a reason. And if you're an artist or any kind of creator, they probably inspire you. Getting inspired can mean anything. Getting inspired could mean seeing a color palette and then wanting to incorporate that into a new drawing, or seeing a landscape and wanting to draw a background, or seeing a cool character on TV and wanting to make your own character that's just as cool as them. Which leads nicely into the next point. I also think that it would be beneficial to you if you have at least one OC, or original character. Whenever I'm running short on ideas of what to draw, you just head over to your cute little OC and be like, hey man, I'm gonna draw you, because I know what you're about and I know you very well. And if you like your OC and you've thought a lot about them and you think about them all the time, it's probably gonna be very easy for you to think of something to draw with that OC. Side note, I recently got into Pinterest and it's like absorbing my entire life. But Pinterest is great if you make OCs, because you can make an entire board just for your little baby, and then you can pop in like their clothes and their hairstyles and their hobbies, and just have this big old folder full of everything that they're about. And if you don't necessarily know what your OC is about, it can be very helpful to kind of look through the vast images on Pinterest and see what you think fits them. I also have entire playlists on YouTube and Spotify just for my characters and just for my stories. Songs that they like and songs that I think relate to them and their story. And don't be afraid to make fan art. I love making fan art, even though I don't make it a lot. Which might not seem like the truth, because my YouTube channel has, I don't know if it has more fan art than it has OC art, but it certainly does have 2 shiny pictures of my sweet baby boy Keith. If you don't know what to draw, just fall back on your OCs and your favorite characters from your favorite TV shows. It can be a great way to get something started. The possibilities of things to get inspired by are limitless, so don't underestimate your own ability to create something new based off of something else. If you're having trouble with a certain part of the drawing, it really does help to kind of pull together all the references you can and just study what it is you're struggling with. I, as well as many artists, struggle with anatomy. I can draw pretty faces, but I can't seem to draw anything from the shoulders down. I have a drawing that I'm working on right now that features this dude who is shirtless and he has like all these exposed muscles and he's like, oh my god, look at my bod. So I knew I had to get the muscles of his torso right. And I tried to kind of draw what I loosely thought the muscles looked like, and it just did not turn out correct. And I was like, okay, something needs to change. So what I did was I went on sweet old Google Images and I gathered all these pictures of real life dudes taking off their shirts from these different angles. And then I looked at muscle anatomy drawings. So, you know those kind of like science books that you see in biology where they have like no skin and it's just like all the muscles. That was also extremely helpful for me. So even though I draw in this very shiny animu style, I was able to translate the muscles of real life people into this drawing, and it looks so much better than when I was just trying to imagine what the muscles looked like in my head. And gosh, there are plenty of tutorials about how to draw hair, how to make your line art look nice, how to color, how to shade. So I feel like with anything that you're struggling with, there is always something out there to help you. So I highly recommend that if you're struggling, you try that out. Now, not being in the right mindset to create art can be a lot of things. Art is not your entire life. You have work, school, family, friends, and you can often have a lot of things on your plate at once. That's how life is. And oftentimes it's not as easy to just sit down and draw when you have all these things going on. And a lot of people in the art community, myself included, also struggle with their mental health. And if that's the case for you, you should really tackle that first before you put all this pressure on yourself to create this amazing masterpiece. And for some, that means taking a break from art for a while. And that's okay. Even though I want to be making as much art as I can, sometimes taking a break is just what I need. Don't let anybody shame you for taking a break from art. Sometimes I see it in the community and it really makes me sad because we should be supporting each other whether we're currently drawing or not. With this art trade that you're looking at right now, I was kind of struggling with all of these things. The lines were too stiff, the pose was too stiff, I had no idea how to shade it. And even though I was telling myself it was like the worst drawing ever, when I posted it, nobody said it was bad, and ThePinster reacted so kindly to it, which made me feel really good. And ironically, looking back at this drawing, even though there are some definite mistakes, it's really not as bad as I was telling myself it was. Which I think just goes to show that when you're in that kind of negative, self-deprecating mindset, your judgment of your art is probably harsher than it should be. I think the overall message that I'm trying to get across is that not all of your drawings will be good, and that's totally okay. You will have good days and you will have bad days. Every artist goes through that. Just don't let yourself get too discouraged, and remember, the only one that can create your art is you. Thank you so much to ThePinster for doing this art trade with me, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!